Your light's not on.
I got you.
What's going on, everybody? This isn't really one of our podcast episodes, but we definitely had to hop on here and recap the NFL draft, which is scheduled to start at what, 7:30 or 8?
I think 7:30.
Okay, so basically in like roughly 45 minutes is supposed to start. So we wanted to talk about round one before it got too late into it. And we also to talk about my Orlando Magics. But first and foremost, if you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. Me and Money, we try to go live every Friday. And we talk about different things. But like I said, this isn't our normal podcast episode, so we're going to be really into the sports on this one. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons versus the Orlando Magic, how that series is going. And then we're going to hop right into the NFL draft recap of round one. Essentially, we're going to go over all the picks. Me and Monday are going to talk about who we had slated to go there in our mock drafts, who actually went there, and what we thought of the pick. So, without further ado, Money, you doing all right today? You ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm great, man. What about you? I forgot to switch, bro. Got to switch real quick.
You good?
Yeah, I got my thinker glasses on. I gotta let people know I'm serious, bro. Now we ready. Now I'm serious. I let y'all know I'm looking professional now. All right. Okay. How's everybody doing today? You know, we appreciate all the new subscribers. Hey, you're part of the family, and we'd like to say welcome. And if you have any suggestions, just let us know. We're willing to talk with you. We're willing to have a conversation. We're willing to, let it be known that we're here to support you too.
All right. So first and foremost, we got the Orlando Magics. Game one. Did we talk about game one? I think we talked about game one. So before we even got to the playoffs, I had the Orlando Magic winning. I had Orlando Magic potentially upsetting Detroit because I felt like Detroit was a better matchup than Boston. So even though we did lose that first playing game, that was the best situation to be in because we lost the first playing game. That means we're not the 7th seed, which gave us the opportunity to be the 8th seed to play Detroit. And game one, we went out there and shocked the world. And before the conclusion of game two, it was like 10 years since Detroit won a home playoff game, which is some crazy number like that. Chauncey Billups was the point guard last time Detroit won a home playoff game.
Wow.
Yeah, so before they won game two, that's what happened. So just a quick recap. Orlando stole a game, 112-101. We had some guys show up. Paulo had 23, Franz had 19, Wendell Carter had 17, Desmond Bain had 17, and Jalen Suggs had 16 as well. On Detroit side of the ball, Cade Cunningham had 39 points. Tobias Harris had 17. Just some big-time performance for those guys, but it just simply wasn't enough. And I think the big reason that helped us this game is Jalen Rand didn't show up. 33 minutes, he gave you 8 points, 7 boards. 7 boards is good, but with him supposed to be the second best player on this team, I need more than 8 points for him. He can't have a game where Wendell Carter outperforms him, and that's exactly what happened in that one. So we end up stealing that game, and then Detroit was able to bounce back in game two, and this is where I kind of annoyed with the outcome of the game. Orlando loses to Detroit 98-83. In the larger scale of things, I'm okay with it for the simple fact of it was a good game and we already won one. But, man, the first half, it was gritty, slow defense. It was 46-46 at halftime. The turning point came in the third quarter, Money. The Pistons won 30-3 run.
30-3?
In the end of the quarter, 30-3 run. Yep. Nothing we could do about it. And we was outscored by them boys, 38-16 in that quarter. Turned the game from a close matchup to an instant blowout. And it wasn't just scoring. There was energy from rebounds, and Detroit just flipped the switch on us. So there was nothing we could do. K had 27 and 11. He controlled the game like he normally does. He's just a dog like that. Tobias Harris also had a double-double, 16 and 11. They snapped an 11-game home playoff streak that went all the way back to 2008. Money. That was their first home playoff win since 2008.
That's ridiculous, bro. That's like what, 18 years?
Yeah, crazy.
It
I was
is.
just straight losing. On our side of the ball, Jalen Suggs had 19, Paolo had 18. But overall, money, we shot 32% from the floor and 25% from three.
Wow, that's all I can say.
I mean, Cade is the engine. We know that. Cade can. We seen though. Cade can go for 40 and we still win. So I'm okay with Cade getting his because he's one of those players that you have to live with it. You just got to control everybody else. But check this out, money. Franz Wagner. We've been told that he's the best player on Orlando. 4 for 11. Wendell Carter. I'm not expecting him to play like he did in game 1, but 1 for 6. Desmond Bain, the guy we spent 17 first-round picks on, 2 for 11, 2 for 7 for 3. Anthony Black, our 6th man, 1 for 6. Jalen Suggs was decent,
you know
7
what,
of 18.
I thought at one point I was like, should Anthony Black be y'all starting point guard? And how he's been shooting is obviously no.
No. This is Jalen starting over him. And like I was saying, Jalen shot 7-18, which is decent, but 3 from 10 for 3. These niggas putting up tour dates. What can I do with that?
Nothing.
April 11th, January 6th, February 11th, January 6th. Like, what can I do with that, bro? We doing Orlando's trash tour all year long. That's just unacceptable. We got to be better than that, man. Like, if we're going to lose being outplayed. But we ain't going to win no games with people putting up tour dates.
Yeah, that's bad right there, man. That's absolutely horrific scoring. How do you go out there and put up that little amount of points? You need to do more.
And it's crazy, too. And for the people who like plus or minus, Franz plus or minus was negative 22, closest to 15. Because everyone has to say, oh, well, Franz always has a good plus or minus on the floor. Well, he got you negative 22. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at the money, we only had 3 people with positive plus or minus. Jamal McCain, he played 8 minutes, he had 2 points. Tristan Da Silva, who played 17 minutes, was plus 2. He went 1 for 3 with 3 points. Jace Richardson had 6 points, played 3 minutes. And Anthony Black played 24 minutes. He had 0 plus or minus. So I guess that's the best we're going to get, man.
You're breaking even with them.
The only saving grace is we did steal a game on their home court. We come back to Orlando tomorrow, I believe we play. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I'm pretty sure game 3 is tomorrow. We got to win. We got to win. Yeah. We got to win and play better. And if we don't win, we can't lose both of them.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
I think this is definitely a must-win for Detroit. Huh?
That's a disaster waiting to happen if you lose both of those at home.
Yes. Now, I get it. Orlando's obviously, was heavy dog in this. A lot of people expected us to get swept. The fact that we won the game, says a lot. But I'm not okay with one game. I'm expecting us to win this. And to be honest with you, Money, even if we lose, but we push Detroit to 7, I think that is a disaster for Detroit.
Yeah, because
for Detroit, it's supposed to be the number 1 we get pushed to a game 7 with the A seed.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you say they haven't won a home game in 8 years?
Yeah, until they won game 2.
That means that they don't have experience. You all do.
So yeah, exactly. So we're a great team, man. We're obviously not the second best defensive team in basketball like we were last year, but I think we're still top 10. We picked it up towards the end of the year when we won that little run and then fell off towards the last couple games. But we still are a good defensive team. We're still holding Detroit under 100 points, which is impressive in this. We just got to be ready to play tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think you're all going to win game 3, if I had to predict.
So we'll see. Got my fingers crossed. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for my boys. And like I said, if we push Detroit to game 7, because if I'm going to be honest, bro, if you look at the rosters, I think we got the better roster. I
Yeah.
think Pistons have the far and clear best number one player, right? And then I think after you won second best player, I think from 2 to 5 are Magic players because Detroit doesn't have anybody. Like I said, Cade's one. Then after Cade, you have I like Franz, I like Paulo, I like Suggs, I like Bane, and then I think we get back to Detroit, and then we'll get Jalen.
Yeah. We'll like
I
to
don't
say
think
bench,
Jalen Duran is
Ron.
better than Franz. I don't think he's better than Paulo.
Yeah, you all got 2, 3, 4. Basically, they got one.
So
Hey,
I
I'm
don't know. I
ready.
think we have a better roster. We should put a better fight than what we're doing.
Hey, I'm ready to get into the meat of the potatoes of this conversation, man. You know, like
All right,
we like
let's
the
get
Magic,
into it.
but
Let's get into
they
it.
still got some more games. Now I'm ready to talk about these teams now. I got this ready
All
for you
right.
all.
The moment everybody's been waiting for. Last night was the NFL draft first round, and it had some surprises out there. It had some surprises. It was definitely something that caught me off guard for sure, and I know it caught me off guard. So we're gonna hop right into it. So the first pick of the draft, I think this was pretty obvious months ago. Fernando Mendoza, that's who I had. That's who Money had. I mean, the Raiders have so many holes they could have easily traded back and number, but it was very clear and far and away they're going to go Fernando. And yeah, that's what they went with, Fernando Mendoza. It's not much to say about that. Best quarterback in the draft. So I think a team who has a quarterback on top of what's his name that just signed with there? Kirk Cousins just signed there. Fernando's not going to play this year. If he does, it's going to be like week 10 or 11. Kirk is going to be the starter. Fernando's going to learn to grow him. I'm a big believer in guys sitting for a year. Obviously, fans don't like it when a team drafts a guy, especially number one, and they don't play too much. But I think that would be in the best interest of him to sit his first year. What do you think, Money?
I agree with you. I think he needs to sit his first year. I think, at the back end, he can learn the game being on the bench, and then the back end, you put him in and let him get some reps. Kirk Cousins, as we know, is what we call a quarterback that's good enough not to be good enough. I think Mendoza is good, but if Jay and I could choose, we would have traded the pick to the Jets. Let them get Mendoza and go get our quarterback next year. You need offensive line. You need to get him some weapons. You need a defense. You need so much. But Mendoza also kind of walks into a good situation. You got Bowers.
Yeah.
And then you got running back in the backfield that you drafted in the first
And they do
round.
got Linderbaum, even though I think they way overpaid for him. I think he's making like $15 million more than the next closest center. So
Yes.
you got the best center in football, or arguably the best center in football, but you overpaid for him. So, I mean, I guess that's your attempt at building the lineup. I don't know. And if you're the Raiders, do you want guys to come there if you have to extremely overpay like that?
No.
So, yeah.
Who's Jaden Prince? Price.
I think that's that running back for Notre Dame, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he went to Seattle.
So, the second pick in the draft was David Bailey. I personally had Arvell Reese going here. Money, who'd you have going number 2?
The funny thing is, my first mock draft, I had him going here. And then I was like, you made a good point. I was like, the other guy's more versatile and everything. And so I was like, I put Reese here and he gets drafted. I just shake my head. I'm like, really? Like, I really expected him, to go Reese.
A little bit. But I did too. I mean, like I said, I think he's probably, one of the more versatile guys out there. Freak athlete, Ohio State was with linebackers. So I thought he would be a good fit for them. But they did go defense, but they want David Bailey, who's considered probably the best edge rusher in this draft. And I mean, it's not a bad pick. He's a quality player. I understand it. So number 3, this one was a first surprise. Cardinals take
Yes, that's my
Jeremiah
biggest
Love.
surprise. Jay, that's my biggest. Yeah, who you asked was my biggest surprise of the draft. This is the
We'll get to
biggest
that then
surprise
when we finish.
for
We'll
me.
finish. So Cardinals take Jeremiah Love. I had the Cardinals taking the top tackle off the board, Francis Muagua. Who would you have
I
them taking,
had
money?
them taking David Bailey.
Oh, David Bailey. Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been a bad pick. They do need all types of help on that defense. But yeah, Jeremiah Love went here. And I mean, I'm surprised by it. Yeah, because I'm like, you wouldn't take a receiver. You took a receiver a couple years ago, Marvin Harrison. We still trying to get that to pan out. And then I didn't take a running back because they love James Conner. I think James Conner is not that good. And then they took your guy that you like, the running back, Benton. What is his name?
Yes, Trey Benton. Yeah.
Yeah, Benton. They took Benton a couple years ago. So I'm like, I thought they were happy with the running back, but clearly not. Especially to take a guy third. Number 4, the Titans take. I had them taking Jeremiah Love. The Titans end up taking Cardell Tate.
I had them taking Love too.
I mean, you take the best offensive player, huh?
I had them taking Love too.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take the best offensive player at that point because I felt I felt Jeremiah Love. They don't have anybody outside of Cam Ward. So I thought, getting a guy like Jeremiah Love, a running back who can do it all, catch and run the ball, I thought that'd be a great fit for them. But then they would go with Cardell Tate, which is arguably the second best offensive player in this draft. They need somebody to help their quarterback. Cam Ward is the guy they took. So that was a good pick for them. I think if you would have went any other direction, it would have been absurd. So I think
The funny thing is, I
and
had
honestly,
Tate
I don't think
a few picks later.
Yeah, Kate, what?
I had Tate going a few picks later to Cleveland.
See, I didn't. I had him going to the Giants.
Oh wow! So you had him going. Me and you were like close. He was going to go top 6.
Yeah. So next, the Giants. Like I just said, I had them taking Cardell Tate. They ended up taking Arvil Reese. I mean, I think he's probably the best linebacker in this draft. He's versatile. He can rush the passer. He can stand up and play that box. Is it a little high for a guy who's probably going to play Mike backer? A little bit, but I mean, I think he's really good. What do you think of the pick?
They took arguably one of the most versatile defenders in the game. I mean, in the draft, and that's what they decided to do. They said, we need to get better on defense. And a report came out, they might trade their pass rusher, Kayvon. Kayvon Thibodeau. He might be getting traded.
Now, I will say I didn't like the idea of going defense again because they went defense last year and then the year before. They took the boy from Penn State.
Or Dual Carter.
They took Carter last year. And so you took Carter last year just to come back and take Reese, who is, he can play Mike backer, but they're circulating he's going to play edge rusher. So we'll see. Are you going to get that same value from him if you play him at Mike Bauer? If he has Frank Warren potential, then yeah, you definitely will get your values worth. But if
Patrick
not,
Willis, that's what you need from him.
Patrick Willis is another good one. So number 6, the Browns. When me and Money do our mock drafts, we don't do trades. So we anticipate trades. The Browns, I had the Browns take your Spencer Fano. Who would you have them taking, Money?
I had them taking Tate here, but they ended up trading the pick to Kansas City.
What are your thoughts on it?
Kansas City, I remember somebody telling me Kansas City's not going to take a cornerback high. Because I had thought
I didn't think they would. Look at their history. They don't take corners high.
And so I was like, you know what?
The last DB they took that high was Eric Berry. So that means this kid really blew their socks off.
Yes. Monso Delane. And we'll say Jordan Iverson, we appreciate you, man. But
So I mean,
yeah,
yeah. So I was
you caught me off guard, man. I was
lost for
like,
words.
you talked to me. You're
Yeah,
like, bro, I don't know if they're gonna take him that high. Last one they took that high was
I
Eric
didn't think
Berry,
they would
who's
take
a
him that high.
safety.
Nope.
And so I was like, I overthought it. Because
Like I said, they
who
believe in their system and developing corners. They must have really like this kid. And I mean, yeah, he's a good corner. He's considered the best corner in this draft. But man, I don't know, man. There's a couple other guys that are arguably in that conversation. But they got their DB after losing 3 corners last year. So at the end of last season, so they're in a better spot now. Then at 7, I had the Commanders taking David Bailey. The Commanders are the worst defense for the past 16 years. So I thought they would finally do something to help that defense.
I actually nailed this.
And they
pick.
did actually. Oh, you had them taking Sonny?
Yes. I had him taking Sonny. And you had a proof? Because I sent it to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Before the draft.
So I was a little. I mean, they need a defensive player. So obviously, the guy I had him taken, he wasn't even there. So that's the right pick for them. They need help on their defense. Their defense is bad. And then at 8, I had the Saints taking Ruben Bain. Who'd you have the Saints taking?
Ruben Bain.
And the reason I had him taking Ruben Bain is Cameron Jordan is getting older. He's like 38, man. He can't play forever. And his production dropped this year. So you need to replace that production of prime Jordan, Cameron Jordan. And I thought Ruben Bain would have been the perfect guy to do that. But they went with Jordan Tyson, who some people feel is the best receiver in this draft. The only thing that hurt his draft value was his injuries. What do you think about that?
I understand why they made the pick, but you can't be an impactful player if you're not on the field. Like, my concern is drafting injured players and then they get into the pros and they're injured and you're like, why is he always injured? Well, he was injured in college. I think he has potential, to be the best receiver in this draft. I think he does, because everybody's talking about Cordell Tate. Well, he had the best wide receiver in college football on his team. That's why he put up the production he did.
Yeah. And that's why I think he might not be that great, because of the fact he played opposite of Jeremiah Smith. So we shall see. I'm not going to count him out, but I definitely feel like it was a gravity thing. Like, he played that well because of the guy he was on the opposite side of the field of.
And now he's counted to
9.
be the
Yeah, he's supposed to be the number 1 guy in the bad offense. So he got some big shoes to fill. At 9, I had Kansas City taking Caleb Downs. I think Caleb Downs is the best overall player in this draft. He's been the best player in college football for a while. And, I thought they took him here. That'll give them another bona fide safety back there. And instead, we saw the Browns take Spencer Fano, which is actually, I guess technically I did nail that pick, because that's I had him taking at 6.
Yeah.
So
I give you credit for it.
I had the Browns taking him. Huh?
I give you credit for it. Just 2 picks later.
Yeah, so
I had
then
Kansas
at number
City
10
Downs too.
Downs too. Yeah, see, they needed to be. They lost too many. They needed to replace them. I thought that would be the perfect spot for them. And at 10, I had the Giants taking Sonny Styles.
I had the Giants
So I
taking
guess
Lemon.
technically, huh?
I had them taking Lemon.
Really?
Lemon.
Giants taking Lemon. Wow. Why is that?
Well, it came out from everybody that they wanted to get help around Malik Neighbors. So I was like, okay, they're going to draft a wide receiver. But instead, they took Francis from Miami.
Yeah, they went and got him a lineman, which, I mean, you got to protect the quarterback. And especially if your quarterback's going to be diving head first into people, you got to protect them.
No, they wanted to protect the quarterback and the running back.
Yeah. How did you feel about the Dolphins trading back, Money?
I was like, I wasn't really too mad because it was like 1 pick. And I was like, maybe I had no idea who they were targeting. But was I happy with the pick? We'll talk about that after this.
Okay. So at 11, there was a trade between the Cowboys and Miami. Dallas moves up and takes Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. Like I said, I think he's the best player in this draft overall. I had the Dolphins taking Kenyon Sadiq. You got to get Malik some help out there. It's just him. It's literally just him. You got to get him some help, and I thought this would be the guy to be helpful for him. Huh?
Here's H-Hand to hand the ball off to.
Yeah, you got to get Malik some help. He has one person out there. So I thought they would take Kenyon Sadiq here. And I had Dallas taking Delane, the corner from LSU.
See, I had them taking Delane too. And I had Fano
because they need
Miami.
And so since we're talking about it, you know, Malik Neighbors was upset with the pick. He wanted them to take Caleb down.
Yeah, I seen that. He said, I don't want to play against him twice.
So then at 13, the Los Angeles.
No, we got to talk about 12. We got to talk about the Dolphins.
Oh, my bad. So at 12, the Miami Dolphins take Caden Proctor, offensive tackle. At 12, I had Dallas taking Delane. Like I said, Money said he had them taking Delane too. What do you think of your Miami Dolphins pick?
The whole TV was almost through the wall.
You need offensive line help, bro.
Hey, the only reason why the TV went through the wall because I wasn't at my own house. All right. I was watching the draft with my dad.
I was at home. That's why it didn't happen.
I was
watching. You need offensive line help, buddy.
Hey, bro, I was watching the draft with my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, they taking Ruben Bain, bro." I was excited. I'm like, "Oh, baby." And
you
then
had your eyes on Ruben. Ugh.
Yeah, and then they took Proctor, and I hugged my dad, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go." I told him I was about to go.
What, 2 years ago you took Chop? So you don't need an edge rusher. You still got Chop.
Bro, me and TJ had this conversation. You know how many sacks Chop had last season?
How many?
Single digits.
Wasn't he hurt last year too, though?
Bro, he played 15 games.
Oh, okay then.
Hey, Jay, he had less than 5 sacks, okay? In 15 games. He had 4 sacks.
Oh. For what it's worth, we talked about this last week when me and Money did our mock drafts. I had Caden going to the Dolphins too. And Money had Caden going to the Panthers. So fast forward, I guess it was safe to say I knew what I was talking about.
Bro, here's my big thing that made me really upset. Okay, I was like, listen, I'm like, okay, we got a big offensive tackle, opposite side of, our boy Patrick Paul. And then I started hearing reports coming out he might play guard. And that's what put me in a blind. I'm like, ain't no doggone way we taking a guard at 11 when he ain't even when he's not even the best guard. The Ravens took the best guard.
Yeah.
That's what made me upset. I was like, if he was a tackle, okay. With him being a guard, and then how about this, bro? They asked what was his weakness. They said his weakness is weight. And he sent him to Miami with all them good, delicious restaurants, bro.
There was rumors that he got upwards to 400 pounds last season.
That's what set me off, bro. Like some groups gave us an F and everything, and I was in a blind. I'm like, bro, we got rid of.
Too early to see. He could play tackle, Money, and he's obviously a professional now. I think he'll take it serious.
How about this, bro? Y'all took, as TJ calls him, Mr. Throw him out the club from us. Robert Hunt.
I mean, hey, bro, he was on the board for you, but we're going to get there. Stop getting at yourself. At number 13, I had the Rams taking Malachi Lemon. I think with Devontae Adams trending outward, I thought that would be a good because Devontae's going to retire here soon. and he's a slot receiver. He can play that slot receiver role for them. He could have played that, maybe a little outside, but I thought that would be a great pick for them. Who'd you have the Rams taking, Money?
Monroe Freeney. I had him taking a tackle. Here's the thing, right?
Why a tackle?
Because to protect Matthew Stafford. Okay, make sure he stays upright. Matter of fact, bro, I got a beef for that.
They have a good offensive line. They had no offensive line issues last year.
Bro, I got a beef for the grade, by the way. All right. So
okay.
I had him
that doesn't mean it's the right pick.
Hey, and then it seemed like McVay didn't seem happy when they made the pick, bro. Like you looked at his face and he looked stone cold. Yeah, he did not look happy at all. He looked stone cold, like, man.
He has to sign off on it. He is the head coach. He's going to coach these kids, so he does have a say over it, bro.
Hey, no, not all the time,
14.
Bro. Not all the time. Remember the Dolphins?
But he does, bro. This isn't like one of those organizations. He does. He definitely has a say over it. Him and the GM are besties. They talked about it. At 14, I had the Ravens taking Vegalone. Who'd you have taking, Money?
Bro, you nailed the pick. I had them taking Jordan Tyson. I thought he was going to fall. And the Ravens have taken the most receivers in the first round in the past few years.
And that's why I thought they wouldn't take a receiver, because they always miss. And you're going to take an injury-prone receiver in the first round after missing 7 consecutive wide receivers? No. I have them taking Vegalone, beef up your offensive line, especially since you just lost your superstar center to the Raiders. You need to put somebody back in that spot. Vegalone's that guy. Perfect pick. Number 15. I had the Bucks taking an edge rusher, so I was close, but I have them taking Keldrick Falk from Auburn. The Bucks end up getting Reuben Bain. Who'd you have the Bucks taking?
Gerald McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee. I had them going defense. I got an A-, by the way, for that grade.
McCoy?
Yes.
I
got an A-, bro. I got an A-.
They don't have a terrible secondary. It's not about what grades you get from the damn auto-generator. It's about what you think they would realistically pick. You trying to pick this is what they need.
Bruh, I looked at their needs, and corner was one of the needs, and I was like, you know what, bro? They might go cornerback. Because they needed help defensively.
All right. At 16, I had the Jets taking Jordan Tyson.
Man, I was tripping on my pick, man.
Who'd you have the Jets taking?
I got a D on this one, bro. I was tripping. I don't know why I had him taking Keldrick Falk. I had him taking 2 pass rushes.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Taking 2 pass rushes, 20. That's why it was like, we got to get this D-line together. You hear me? We got to figure it out. Yeah,
I got a bad grade for that one, bro.
Yeah. I felt like this is a position to go offense. And the reason why I was thinking offense is you went edge rusher number 2. Because regardless of which, like I said, I thought they were going to go Arvell. Arvell can be an edge rusher. And Bailey is an edge rusher. So I knew they would go either one. Defense with the first pick. You got to go offense. You got to get some guy out there. I thought Jordan Tyson would be a comment to him. Although he has injury concerns, I thought that was a good place for him to potentially establish himself next to Wilson. So at 17.
Oh, you got to talk about
Detroit
who
Lions
they drafted a tight end. They drafted.
Yeah, they took Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
The Jets took Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon.
I wasn't excited about that.
He's the best. A lot of people keep saying he's a wide receiver at tight end. Newsflash: 90% of the tight ends in the league currently are wide receivers playing tight end. You keep talking about his bad blocking grades, and most of the top tight ends in the league don't block anyways. We got like 3 that actually do blocking and grade out good in blocking. So people keep saying that. Who cares? And then honestly, it's in your best interest to call him a tight end, because if you call him a wide receiver, when it comes time to pay him, you're going to have to pay him like a wide receiver.
That's a fact.
So let's call him a tight end like he is and respect it, okay? So Detroit Lions took Blake Miller at 17. I
I had
had
him
them
taking
taking
off
the edge rusher here. Yeah, I had them taking the edge rusher. I thought this was a spot for Mesidor to go. You got to get Aiden some help. Aiden can't do it by himself, especially with that injury. I'm still feeling like that's a concern for me personally. So I thought you'd get him some help with Mesidor. Mesidor is a little on the older side, but I thought this would be a great compliment to Aiden.
I had him taking
Who'd you have
Caleb
him taking?
Luma.
Loma, really? Yeah.
Well, they took an offensive lineman, so I had the same thinking as them.
That's not a bad one. I mean, because they do need offline help. One of their guys retired, so I get it. But the rumor is Blake
No,
Miller's going to
they
play right
released.
tackle.
They released
Huh?
what's the name? They released a left tackle last year.
Yeah, somebody retired off the offensive line as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, but the plan is apparently Blake Miller is going to play right tackle. Who's the best right tackle in football is going to flip over to left tackle. And I'll be honest, I think Penny could have played left tackle, center, right guard, tight end, running back. He's that big of an athlete. I think he's that great of a player. I think he's one of the best tackles in the league, regardless of right or left. I think he'll transition fine. But what I didn't like is they said they're going to try him out at left tackle, and if it doesn't work, they're going to put Blake over there. You mean to tell me a guy I believe is a top 3 tackle in the league fails at left tackle, we're going to put a rookie over there?
Jay,
we expect him to be successful.
Remember, he came in college playing left tackle.
Does left tackle. He'll be fine. I don't know, man. I think really highly of Sewell. I think he's a dog, bro. Next up, the Vikings at 18. I had the Vikings taking a safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Toledo. Who would you have them taking?
I had him taking that safety from Oregon. Looked like I was correct.
They took Caleb Banks, bro. What are you talking about?
Hold on, you for real?
Yes.
Bro, I thought they took a safety.
No, they took Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle from Florida.
Oh,
what
shit.
are you talking about?
Shit.
This dude talking about look like I was right. No, you weren't. Next up, the Carolina Panthers, pick 19. I am taking Monroe Freely. Who would you have us taking, Money?
King and Sadiq.
Proctor. Oh, Sadiq, yeah. For me, my reason was at that point in my mock draft, he was the best player available. I didn't like any of the guys after. Like, we don't need a quarterback. We could have used the safety, but I didn't really like because a lot of people said the guy from Oregon, Dylan, was over McNeil, and I'm like, I like McNeil better. So I knew if that was the case, they would have went with Dylan. So I didn't want Dylan. We could have went receiver, but that would have been 3 years in a row going receiver. I thought that would have been horrible. I do want us to get another DB because J.C. Horn cannot play a full season. We need somebody else out there. And we got Jack Jones, who's like 47. So we need some help at DB.
So what's the
outside that? My biggest concern was our with Icky. Icky's probably out this year with an injury. We needed somebody on that offensive line, especially if we're going to ride out with Bryce one more year. Let's get him an offensive lineman. And then if Bryce sucks and we go quarterback next year, we have a tackle that can play in the trenches. It will be back. He might potentially be moved to guard, but he will be a good guard. So, yeah, I went Monroe Freely for this one.
What's good, cuz?
So, I went Monroe Freely. He was actually the pick. So, happy that worked out.
Wow. You nailed that one, bro. I like the one I picked for Minnesota. I'm gonna just say this: when we talk about Cleveland, we skipping who I picked. All right.
Now you gotta tell me. So at 20, original pick was Cowboys. Had the Cowboys taking C.J. Allen because they need a backer, man. You brought in the guy from the Raiders, Wilson. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. So I had them taking CJ Allen here. They obviously traded the pick in Philly, and they're taking Mekhi Lemon. What do you think of that?
First of all, I don't trade within the division unless you give me an arm and leg. I had them taking Mazador, the edge from Miami. That's because they were bad on defense.
Yeah.
And they traded it to a division rival. You got to give me everything you got.
Yeah, no. And to be honest, Money, I have a thing, bro. I can't take a slot receiver in the first round. Everyone talks about how great Mekhi Lemon is, and I'm not doubting the young man, but you are a slot receiver. You are what you are. I'm not taking a slot receiver in the first round. I just can't. That's why Kansas City didn't pay Tariq. You can't pay a slot receiver.
Because who Flex said he agreed with me. Never in the same division.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, hey, it happens. This is a deal you can't refuse, but they made it happen. I mean, they moved up, so but yeah. That was the pick.
Jay, are you trading
his Eagle?
Are you trading in your division?
And business is business at the end of the day. I'm not going to be too bull to try a good deal. If it's a good deal, I'm open to it. Business is business.
You got to give me
especially if I know I can potentially hurt you by taking picks away from you, for sure.
I hang up the phone as soon as it'd be like, and the Buffalo Bills have called. They number block. They number block, man.
And then the Buffalo Bills go out there and take the guys and then they trade someone else and they're taking the guy you wanted because you being stubborn.
Hey, just happened.
Business is business at the end of the day.
Business, you're right. Business is business.
Not personal, bro.
If they go up and trade the dude to take the dude I want, business is business, and that's how I go on about my day.
That's why you're not an NFL GM. Moving along, number 21. This is where I think I'll surprise you with my pick here. The Steelers. I had the Steelers taking Ty Simpson.
Wow.
You need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is still on the beat somewhere deciding if he wants to retire. And you end up getting an offensive tackle to block for Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't signed back for the team, meaning you don't have a quarterback. What are we doing? I mean, Will Howard, bless his heart, but he's not ready. And we already seen what's his name play quarterback. He's terrible.
They got a former quarterback, man. He going out there balling out, man.
Who?
Our former quarterback from Miami. I forget his name. We drafted him in the 7th round, off the top of my head.
Yes, but they don't have a quarterback. But they went offensive tackle here. Maxi Aker. I don't know how to say his last name. Forgive me. But the tackle from Arizona State. Who'd you have him taking, Money?
Vega. I thought he was going to go right
Vega?
here. Because it's hilarious. Because why would we do this? Because
you have him taking who?
I had the Steelers taking Vega.
Vega?
Yeah. Because said Rodgers to the Dolphins. Because you need to protect. Because I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come back and go to the Steelers because I'm like,
Money, he should have been came back, bro. The fact he's not back yet says everything.
Until he fully retires, I think he will be on the team. Or if they do bring in somebody, they're going to bring in Mac Jones.
You heard the prices for Mac Jones?
What? A bag of chips?
A second round pick?
They ain't getting that.
No. Mac Jones is going for a second round pick. That's why he's still on the Niners.
At best, you're going to get a third.
Good luck. How you tell me my price? You called me. You called me and said how much, and I told you the price.
How much is the price?
A second round pick.
I'm hanging out right now, bro.
You called me. You can't get an ass.
Don't call me back.
Why the flat screen is $300? I don't want to pay $300. Then take ass the Best Buy and get one of them cheap TVs.
Shoot, that's why I'm going to Best Buy right now. Then, all right, give me a cheaper quarterback.
Them folks do not care. At 22, I had the Chargers taking that safety, Dylan Thieneman. I thought he'll be a good pair with Pooh Bear.
I had them taking
Huh?
Pete Woods.
That's not a bad pick. I mean, they
Peter
did go
Woods.
defensive lineman. The pick actually was Mesidor from Miami. Like I said
Yep.
earlier, he's a little older, so that is a concern because when you get a guy that's older, you wonder how high is his ceiling. Is he going to get better or not? It's up in the air still. So it's 3. Oh, whoops.
I had
All right.
the
At
Eagles taking
23,
Proctor.
you had the Eagles taking Proctor. I had the Eagles taking Jermon McCoy. I felt like your secondary was okay last year. You should improve it a little more. Bring in
I thought they were
somebody
gonna play him
that
at
way you
guard.
can move. Huh?
I thought they were gonna play him at guard until
Hmm.
until Lane Johnson retires, and then they're gonna put him over at right tackle.
No, I thought McCoy was the pick here. Then you can move Cooper DeJean to safety, let him play his natural position. I thought this would be a really good pick for them. But instead, we got a trade, and then Dallas take Malachi Lawrence. And I'll be honest, bro. You want to know my opinion? I think he might be the best edge rusher in this draft.
Malachi Lawrence.
I
didn't even have him
bro,
for
from
first
UCF.
round, bro.
Really, bro? Look at what people are saying about him, bro. Malachi Lawrence is a dog, bro. A lot of people sleep on him. He does have some plays where, he kind of, takes it off from time to time, but that's all about mentality, bro. You can get him right. He has the ability, bro. I think he's going to be a dog. I love that pick for Dallas. Great player. I think he's going to be really good for them.
Wow. Okay.
At 24,
We're not talking
who'd
about
you have the Browns taking?
You go first.
I had the Browns taking the wide receiver, KC Concepcion, and that's who they took.
I had them taking Omar Cooper Jr.
Omar Cooper. It's not a bad one. They were a wide receiver. And
It is a bad
honestly,
pick, bro. I got a D. You know who I had them taking at 6?
I mean,
right?
I knew they were going receiver here because you went off the line with the first pick, and then the second pick you go offensive skill position.
No,
There's
but you
no
know who
running
I had them
backs that I
picking
think
at
outside
6,
of
right?
Huh?
You know who I had them picking at 6, right? Cordell Tate. I was doing the draft on my phone.
In the first round is
Bro,
insane.
I
don't know what you were thinking.
I was doing it on my phone, and I forgot to check who they picked took at 6.
You got who you picked on your own draft. That's crazy. So yeah, that's on you, bro. But I knew earlier I took an offensive tackle, and I was like, okay, who's the best wide receiver available? And I think KC gets slept on a lot. I think he's really a dog. He could potentially be the best receiver in this draft. A lot of people slip on him. And they talk about, he struggled with drops. He had 3 drops last year. He played 15 games and had 3 drops. If that's a problem for you, then damn, man. He can't be perfect. So I'm really high on this kid. I think that's a great pick. And to be honest, there's no excuse, Shador. Shador, Money and I are 2 of your biggest supporters. You got a legitimate tackle, a legitimate wide receiver 1 now. And you have a legitimate tight end that's a stud. I need to see
and a running back.
Yes, and a really good running back. You have the offense around you. I need to see something, dog. Then we started getting closer to a bunch of trades. At 25, the Bears. I had the Bears taking the defensive tackle because their defense line is bad.
Same here.
I'm taking Peter Woods.
I had them
Who's
taking
you take?
McDonald,
Yeah.
Caden McDonald.
I just think they got a bad defensive line. This will be a good pick for them. Granted, some of these interior defensive guys aren't, I wouldn't say they're good enough to go in the first round, but I was drafting in the aspect of like team need. But they did go defense money, so we get a couple points for that. They ended up taking Thieneman from Oregon, the safety. Not a bad pick. You do need help on the defensive side of the ball. So, yeah, he's a good player. He has good size, 6 foot, 200, great foot speed. So, yeah, that'll be a good pick. Next up was the Texans. The Buffalo Bills was at 26, and they traded with the Texans. I had the Bills taking Colton Hood here. Who'd you have them taking, Money?
Zion Young.
Oh, the edge rusher? Not bad.
Yeah, from Missouri.
Why'd you have them taking the edge rusher?
Well, because they were so desperate, they brought in an old Joey Bosa.
They tried that twice. They brought on the old Von Miller, and then they brought on the old Joey Bosa.
So that's why I had them take an edge.
I did see a world where they traded up to the top 10 to get one of those premium guys, but at the same time, is the Buffalo Bills willing to pay that price tag? And then my final conclusion was no.
Same here.
But I do know their secondary is bad. I thought they could get some help by bringing in the guy like Colton Hood. Colton Hood is a really good corner, but here we are.
We have to see where he goes because the draft on right now.
Yeah. Next, the Dolphins are at 27, but the actual pick was the Niners, and I had the Niners taking Malachi Lawrence. They need an edge rusher. I thought the Niners could definitely use somebody on the defensive side of the ball, and I really like Lawrence a lot, and I thought that would be an excellent fit, getting Lawrence and the Niners defense to learn from whoever is teaching those edge rushers over there because they had some great ones over the past couple of years. Who'd you have the Niners taking, money?
Casey Concepcion.
A wide receiver?
They needed a wide receiver, yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad one, actually, now that I think about it. They definitely could have used it, but I think it's more pressing matters on the defense side of the ball.
And
then Dolphins actually picked Chris
Johnson.
Johnson from San Diego State. What did you think of this pick?
At the beginning, when we traded up, I was like, who are we getting? And then I actually didn't like the trade up, but I liked the player because they brought up his stats. He's long. He has good speed and 4.4. They say he erased receivers, but then the question is, who did he play against? It's the big thing everybody's talking about at San Diego State.
Yeah.
Because like they say like he had like a 44% completion rate against him. It looked like Cuz like the pick. But they had somebody who could erase receivers. I'm like, you never know. This dude could be a lockdown cornerback.
No, for sure.
So I really liked it.
He's pretty good.
I had them taking him in a second, but at 27 is basically, close enough. And I liked him as a player.
All right. At 28, I had the Texans taking Caleb Omu. Who would you have the Texans taking?
Kristen Miller, defensive tackle from Georgia. I was like, they're going to add on to that defensive line because, the
defense is already nasty, money. I don't think they need more pieces. I thought they needed it on offense. That was my thinking.
My thinking was
the best defense
on your strength. Hey,
even though your quarterback is seeing ghosts. Did you forget that?
Hey, bro. You can go. I was thinking they'll take offensive line in the second round. Cuz said, I'm with the Browns this year. Cuz I told you, hey, Shador got all the weapons around him. He better do something this year or he's done.
He has to do something. Agreed. Yeah.
Agreed. Because next year's a quarterback
heavy
draft.
They're not going to be leaning with the 5th round pick, man. They're not. They're not going to give you too much time. If they take the top 3 again, Shador's out of there.
Yeah. Quarterback heavy draft because like Jay and I talked about it. If we were the Raiders, we would have traded the number 1 pick to the Jets and let them give up what they would give up, and we did when they got our quarterback next year.
And it's funny too. I mean, technically, I got the pick right. They had the T right because at 28, the New England Patriots took Caleb Long, the guy who's going to be playing left tackle while Will Campbell gets bumped in the guard.
You think they're gonna really get rid of him, Jay? You think
Will Campbell playing left tackle no more, money? It's over. He's playing guard. He's going to be a Pro Bowl guard. You get me? He is not.
You think he done, bro?
Did you?
I don't.
Woo! Did you forget he was out there getting mixed with the Migos in the playoffs? Bad, bro. That boy's gonna be playing guard. You hear me?
That's crazy, bro. Because
at 29, I had to take out Omar Cooper Jr. I think it's so much uncertainty with their wide receiver room. Rasheed Rice can't stay out of trouble off the field. And then you got what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. I'm on the blank.
Brown, and then you got your boy Worthy.
Worthy. Xavier Worthy he's a small receiver that can't stay healthy. And year 2 was a very big disappointment. So I had him taking Cooper here. He's a guy, can be compared to Debo, get some carries out the backfield. He makes contested catches. I think he's really good. I thought that would have been a good fit for now. But instead, saw the juice, as you like to say, improve on the strength. They went and got Peter Woods to give Chris Jones some help in the trenches. Who did you have him taking at 29?
I had them taking a corner at 29.
Who did you have him taking?
Colton Hood from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, Jay?
I wouldn't have been mad at it.
I had the Dolphins taking a corner at 30, but they took him at 27. So I knew they were going to take a corner.
Yeah.
You already know. So
at 30?
Yeah. I had them taking Brandon from South Carolina.
Really, at 30?
Yeah, the Dolphins.
At 30, I had the Dolphins taking Caden and Proctor, so I think I could get points for that. I mean, let's just call a spade money. The Miami Dolphins is the worst team in football right now, okay? That is a bad
and with
quarterback.
With the hardest schedule. The second hardest schedule. If we go by off of last year.
They have yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for the Dolphins. It's a situation for them. You got to protect your quarterback. And I felt like Proctor, he was the best guy I had available on the board. Thought it was a spot for him. Obviously, Miami thought highly of him than I anticipated since they took him earlier in the draft. So, yeah, I had Dolphins taking Proctor here. And you said you have him taking a corner.
Yeah, so I got props.
Colton.
Because they took a corner with the second pick.
Yeah. Yeah. So 30 was actually Omar Cooper to the Jets after a trade. What did you think of this pick?
The Jets are loading up because everybody's like, man, the Jets ain't going to do nothing. I'm like, people don't understand. The Jets are loading up for their quarterback at 27. Their quarterback in 27 is going to walk onto the field with some nasty weapons because I think they're going to
march for arch money.
That's what they might be doing because think about this, Jay. I think they're gonna find out a way to get an agreement with Hall. So you're gonna have Breece Hall, you're gonna have Cooper, and you're gonna have Wilson. Then you got a tight end, bro. Yeah. That quarterback's gonna walk in with weapons. I bet if Moore doesn't go to the Jets, he's gonna be kicking himself like, dang, I could have had some weapons this year.
I mean, he would have. I don't know because. He would obviously want 2. They wouldn't have took an edge rusher there. So then they would have had to take a defense later. Who knows what could have happened. But, yes, Omar Cooper, I mean, I like him a lot. I think he's a good receiver. He's a good playmaker. So you got some weapons there. So whoever the quarterback is next year, I mean, who knows? It could be more. They could end up picking 5th, and more could fall from the 2nd-best quarterback to the 5th-best quarterback in next year's draft. You never know. So
that's possible.
We shall see. At 31, the Patriots. I had the Patriots taking Denzel Boston. They the wide receiver, bro. They just got rid of Diggs. Who are you gonna throw the damn ball to? And as we know, they end up going Caleb Lomu. So I guess round 2 they're gonna go quarterback. But here we are. Who did you have them take, Ronnie?
The Patriots taking Miller. Who picked that 31? The Patriots stayed there.
The Titans. They took Falk.
Oh,
so you had them taking the lineman at 31?
Yeah, the Patriots.
They call it right here.
Yeah. Hey, the Dolphins just drafted a linebacker, by the way, because they let the other quarterbacks get a couple of years before they canceled them. Well, because the thing is, Shador was a 5th-round pick. The thing is, when you're a 5th, it depends on the round you go in. Like if you're like a 1st-round pick, they get
you get a longer leash.
4 years. Yeah. Because you put in more capital for them.
No matter what we think, we all think he was a 1st-round talent. We all can agree on that. Like I said earlier, it's a business. He was drafted in the 5th round, so he's going to get treated like a 5th round pick. That's an unfortunate situation he's in.
And
what I would have wanted in a perfect world, as we talked about it, I would have wanted to potentially get traded to the Rams, sit behind Stafford for a year, and then take over that team. But as we all yesterday, they went and got their future quarterback. So
yeah, here's the thing. And then pick 32 was Jadarian Price with Seattle's 32nd pick. Jadarian Price. To be honest, bro, they might as well traded the pick for Achane. If you're going to draft the doggone running back.
Yeah, I had Seattle taking Chris Johnson here. I thought he was going to last guy to sneak in.
Adam taking a corner because they let Willing walk away.
They let Willing go. After I called that, I told you he was not playing uniform. Did I not?
You called it.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was a backup to Jeremiah Love. So,
hold on,
there really.
Why would you take a running back when you talk so highly about the other run? You let Walker walk away for you to draft the running back in the first round.
That's to tell you. Just gotta find a place for next year, which means you're right. Because you said, do you think they believe in so-and-so, Charbonnet? And I was like, I like Charbonnet. I think they drafted him for a reason, but clearly they ain't in love with Charbonnet.
Mm-hmm. And then we have some picks. So, the Dolphins drafted Jacob Rodriguez at pick 43. I don't know much about him, so
bro, we focus on round 1, bro.
I'll tell you about it later, bro.
All right, so now we got through the full draft. We got some tough questions to answer. So first and foremost, what was the biggest surprise of draft day for you, Money?
I have to tell you this because I got it all written out. My biggest surprise was Love going number 3. I thought he would have fallen number 4 with all the defensive pieces on the board, and I thought the Cardinals would go and
get one pick separate. That's a surprise to you. One pick apart.
Well, I thought the Cardinals. I'm gonna just be honest. I thought the Cardinals could potentially ruin that man's career. I'm gonna be honest with you because they drafted all these. They drafted a running back. You got James Conner, and you drafted a running back the second round a year before. So I was like, you know what? I don't think they're gonna go running back.
Benton did get hurt. This is his chance to prove it's his job, and he got hurt. Remember?
Yeah, but Love going number 3,
3rd and 4th string running back. So I guess in theory, if you look at the bigger picture, it makes sense because they were on their 3rd and 4th string running back last year. But yeah,
what was yours?
I would say my biggest surprise was Ty Simpson. The only way I saw Ty Simpson going in the 1st round, it was Pittsburgh. I did not think the Rams, because now this tells us this is Matt Stafford's last year. He took a quarterback 13. This tells me Stafford's retiring.
2 years at most.
He got one last ride. Huh?
2 years at most.
Yeah, 2 years max. But he's his time to. So that was the biggest shock to me. Ty Simpson going inside the top 15. Who was your favorite player draft yesterday?
Bain going to the Bucks. You know, I was a Bain fan, man. I wanted him to go to Miami, man. And he actually stays in Florida. I'm rooting for him. He's a Florida boy. I think Bain is going to do some good things in Tampa Bay.
That was a good one. Honestly, man, I would probably say Caleb Downs going to Dallas. They need somebody in that secondary after letting their bookend corner go. They need somebody in that secondary, and I think Caleb, like I said, is the best player in this draft. He was the best player in college football for 2 years. So I think that is an exceptional player. Even though Malik Neighbors, like I said earlier, wanted to take Caleb Downs, and they didn't. And they were 1 pick away. They could have took him. He was taking the next pick after that. Oh, I felt really good about that one. Who's your favorite player still available?
Emmanuel McNeil Warren. You know me and you like them big safeties. He's 6'3", 201. The thing is, he's had a 1st round grade, and I like them tall, lanky safeties. And even though he ran a 4.5, that's still solid speed. He's 6'3". I like that. I like size as safety.
He is on the smaller side. Is he? He's on my list too for Carolina. Do 6'4" safety. Say more? No. Do we need a safety? Yes and no. I think Latham Ransom is not ready yet. Emmanuel was great at forcing fumbles last year, but he is on the thin side at 200 pounds, which if you look at this tape, he had a lot of drag down tackles because he just didn't have enough stones in his back pocket to bring guys down. Another guy I've been telling you about him for years. Bryce Lance is in this draft. Absolutely love this kid. He's probably my favorite receiver in this draft. He's 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan, runs a 4.3 40. He knows how to win. He played at North Dakota State, the team that wins the national championship every other year. He's very good at high point passes. He does have a little injury concern, but he has back-to-back 1K years. I think he is going to be a steal, whoever gets him. Another player I really like is Avion Terrell. He is on the smaller side for corners, but I think he's probably the most complete corner in the draft. He's good in man, he's good in zone, and he's a very willing tackling, having a 36 completion percentage on tackle attempts.
I like him too,
which is high for a corner. For other teams outside of my team, another one. Oh, I got one more. I keep scrolling over. Oscar Delp from Georgia. People are calling him a poor man.
Oh man, that's who I like too, man. Runs a 4.4, bro. I like it.
If he's a poor man, Brock Bowers is a top 3 tight end in the NFL. So I'll take.
He's going to be what, top 5, Jay?
Exactly. Be top 10. I'll take that. So I'll definitely take that. And it's a lot of reports coming out of Carolina that they absolutely love this kid. They brought him in for a workout twice. So there's a strong chance he gets picked up by Carolina unless we just get beat to him.
Okay.
For other teams,
who do you think your players would look to draft? Who do you think your team would look to draft?
I think we will definitely look at Oscar Delp. Like I said, there's a lot of reports coming out of Carolina. He's the guy they want. Another one is Emmanuel. We do need some help in that secondary because no matter what you think of J.C. Horn, he's not going to play a full season. And like I said, Lathan's not ready yet. So those are the 2 guys I think they'll go after. I would love a Bryce Lance in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think he's going to be a great locker room kid for whoever gets him. Another one I'm really high on is for other teams. I got 3 for other teams. Denzel Boston would be great for Kansas City. He's a big body wide receiver, 6'4", 212. He is a number 1 receiver. You bring him into Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, you got an Aiden Kelsey, and you got unsurety around Rice, and then with Xavier Worthy always hurt, he'll be great there. My favorite quarterback in the draft, actually, Waller. I think the Jets should try to snag him in the 2nd or 3rd round. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. You bounce back next year and go get your guy.
Bro, he would have weapons like heck.
Especially. Exactly. Especially since you got him so many weapons. You got Wilson, you got Cooper, you got Sadiq, and you got Breece Hall. I think this will be perfect for Drew Aller.
Hey, Jay, why would you start? Why would you start Geno at that point? You already know what you have in him. A quarterback that's good enough not to be good enough. You start the rookie and see if he's going to be the quarterback.
To be fair, though, he did do good with Seattle. The Raiders is just a bad roster, bad coaching, bad concepts. We've seen it all. I got to send you a video of blocking schemes. Even their blocking schemes didn't make sense. They was leaving rushers free who shouldn't be free. And then Geno's forced to try to make plays, and that's when we just see they're right play for him. I understand he has to wear some of that, but he can't wear all of it. That's why they got Carroll out of there after 1 year.
Yeah. Talk about a player I think my team would look to draft. I have 2 corners because our defensive backs are so bad that we need corners. I have Keontae Scott from Miami. He is a tackler, and he can play slot or outside. He mainly plays slot, and he's physical, and I think Miami defense needs that. Or Tarko Davis, a linky corner. I don't understand, why teams would pass on me. 6'4", runs a 4.4. This guy, he had 4 interceptions. He was locking up receivers. He's going to be a steal for some team. Watch.
Another kid I got on my list.
Who you
I
got?
was going to say,
I was about to say, and we're gonna
no,
see
I was
who
going to
Jay
say,
has.
yes, I got one more guy on my list. I a bunch of names that's a lot of kids I like in this draft. It's funny because as far as quarterback is not there, but other kids I like a lot. Zakarian Branch out of Georgia.
Oh,
I
he's a
think
burner.
him in the Rams to be the slot receiver money problem.
Your
Because
boy
then
Steve
not
Smith
only does
don't
he get
like
to
him.
learn, huh?
Your boy Steve Smith don't like him.
Really, Steve, you don't like him?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. As
Well,
a
I mean, hey,
prospect.
Steve has the reason. Steve is good at evaluating talent, so maybe I should watch his tape again. But I think, like you said, he's a burner. He's a fast guy. He goes to a team like the Rams who know how to win, coming from a team that knows how to win, like Georgia. Learn from Monte Adams, one of the best route runners of all time, and Puka Nakua, who's known for being an aggressive player who can get open. I think learning from those two guys would be a great fit.
Well, players I like Eli Stowers from Vandy. He's 6'3". He runs a 4.5. He's a vertical threat. I think Miami needs a vertical threat at tight end. Like, yeah, we have Greg Dolce, but the dude is not getting signed for a lot
Could
of
have
money for a
Sadiq.
reason. Yeah, we could have had
Was
some.
available,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, we could have, but I think we need Stowers. I like Oscar. And then another some other players I like is Ted Hurst from Georgia State. He's 6'4", runs a 4.4. He could be a vertical threat. I like big receivers. And then one more player I really like is TJ Parker from Clemson. He's an edge. I think Chop Robinson is a number 2 edge rusher. I don't think he's the one who will command a double team. I think Miami needs an edge.
No, he's good. He's a kid. But you got anything else to add to the draft?
No, well, I can't. Well, I like these players. Some of them were second round picks, talent, but we already drafted. So I'll say, we'll see what they do in the third round and on if they get any of these players I like.
Yeah, so a lot of my guys, like I said, were day 2 guys. So, but obviously, like Money said, the draft's been going on for a bit. So we're about to hop out this and see what we've missed so far. Anyone who did stop in to watch, we greatly appreciate it. If you are new here, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment for any topics you want us to talk about next. I'm J60, aka 2 Jason.
I'm F Money, and Money for sure. Y'all take it easy.
Peace. Go Panthers.